Hello, I'm Sherry, and I am the author of From Sabotage to Success. This book was also published under Reach Your True Potential. And I decided it was time to bring the book back off the bookshelf, give it a read, and maybe update it, republish it, or publish a new book. So here I want to provide you with something that you can't get anywhere else on the internet, which is the author reading the book and also talking about the book and how it came together. I know that we're in a time of mental health crisis, and I also know that my book has helped people who are in crisis. So I hope that you find it beneficial as well. Here's one of the ways that it looks at the bookstore, but there's more than one cover. Some of them you'll see here. It was even published in Chinese. I'm going to start right from the very beginning. This book is dedicated to my grandma, Betty Olson. Your love and support fed my soul. I miss you so much, but you're forever a part of me. Grandma Betty is only here in spirit. But part of why I want to read that is because I want us to all consider the fact that the people who support us today may not be always available to us. So we have to also learn how to support ourselves. Then we've got the table of contents, and then we go into the acknowledgments. I'd like to thank my workshop participants who were bold enough to ask questions, share stories, and disagree with me from time to time. They have made a tremendous contribution to this book and its contents. Thank you, Alice Potter, for lovingly pointing out my self-defeating behavior and believing in my potential to succeed. Thank you, John Philpott and Pat McKean at Long Beach City College, for believing in me and offering your support. Thank you, Dr. Nancy Bonus, for helping me break free from food compulsions and introducing me to eye-opening and mind-expanding concepts. Thank you, Susan Jeffers, PhD, for kindly answering my questions and leading me in the right direction. Your time and patience have not gone unnoticed. Thank you, Carolyn Lee, Harold Nebenzal, and Paul Lesserman for doing extra footwork on my behalf. Thank you to my husband for loving me as I am and creating a safe space for the real me to grow. Thank you to 12-step programs for teaching me about recovery and change. Thank you to Mariposa Women's Center for creating a space for my workshops. Thank you, Jasmine Thurnbrough, for your creative input. This book was published in 2000, and it looked like this when it was first published. It went through another republication under Reach Your True Potential. And like I said, it was also published in Chinese. I'm going to be reading various parts of it all throughout this year of 2024. This book was originally published in 2000. But as I know, and maybe you know as well, books from 1930, books from 1920, books from the late 1800s are still being read. For example, I regularly listen to recordings of Neville Goddard. And Neville Goddard was giving these speeches when I was a child. In fact, some of them he was giving before I was even born. So my hope is that this book, as it comes back, is a reminder of some basic truths about our own development, our psychology, and how we grow. I just want to go back to this acknowledgments. This is phenomenal to me. It's very meaningful. I called out John Philpott and Pat McKean at Long Beach City College. When I wrote this, again, it was the year 2000, I was studying at Cal State Long Beach in my psychology program and writing this book and doing workshops at Mariposa Women's Center. But little did I know that 3 years after this, I was going to be teaching at Long Beach City College. And then little did I know that 15 years after this, I was going to be a full-time tenured professor at Long Beach City College, teaching in the social work department. My hope is that the social work students and these teachings of From Sabotage to Success can tie in with each other, because the truth is, we're working with so many people who have limited resources in the sense of money, for example, and yet they have an unlimited resource, which is their mind, their attitude, their brain, and so many areas there the potential is untapped. That's one of the reasons why I like this title, Reach Your True Potential, because I believe that there's a potential inside of people that goes untapped. And part of the reason it goes untapped is because of self-defeating behavior. And the self-defeating behavior is often tied into self-defeating thoughts. I think I have a couple more minutes. I want to keep these videos short on purpose, but I think I have enough time to read the first page of the introduction. What is familiar is comfortable, even if it's unhealthy or self-defeating. We're familiar with our lifelong negative attitudes and behaviors, and this familiarity breeds a sense of comfort. It's safer and easier to handle the negative self-talk than it is to challenge it, even though it intensifies feelings of fear, insecurity, and low self-esteem. When we begin changing our attitudes and behaviors, it feels uncomfortable in the beginning because it's unfamiliar. With time, however, your new way of relating to the world becomes more comfortable and more familiar. Resistance is a normal part of change. You are not bad, wrong, sick, or crazy just because you resist change. Everyone is afraid of change. In her book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, Dr. Susan Jeffers states these 5 basic truths about fear. Number 1, fear will never go away as long as you continue to grow. Number 2, the only way to get rid of your fear of doing something is to go out and do it. Number 3, the only way to feel better about yourself is to go out and do it. Don't wait to feel better and then do something. Number 4, not only are you going to experience fear every time you are in unfamiliar territory, so will everyone else. Number 5, pushing through fear is less frightening than living with the bigger underlying fear that comes from feeling helpless. In order to be open to change, it's important to accept yourself exactly as you are right now. Try not to beat yourself up for sabotaging yourself, because that will just make you less resistant to further self-sabotage. That's a typo. It'll make you more resistant, right? If you sabotage yourself because you don't believe you deserve good things, beating yourself up is just reinforcing that you're no good, and that's counterproductive to your goals. Why not begin your self-change now by congratulating yourself for purchasing this book? Put the critic away so you can have an open, receptive mind to the ideas and concepts that follow. You've made an important step in your self-change today. Future changes will be much easier to make if you let go of self-criticism and forgive yourself for past mistakes. I feel like this is the past me reading to the future me. Try to keep an open mind as you read this book. Many of the exercises presented in the upcoming chapters may be familiar to you. Perhaps you've already done them, or you have a preconceived notion that they won't work. I encourage you to try all of the exercises, customizing them to suit your personality. I've done every single exercise outlined in this book. Some work better than others for me personally, but none of them made my life worse. There is nothing in this book that will harm you. Open yourself to change by making a commitment to yourself to do the exercises. I use stories in this book to help illustrate certain points. Some of these examples won't apply specifically to you, but I encourage you to read them all. Rather than looking at the specifics of a story, try to look for the underlying principles. Finally, know that there's no perfect way to read this book or to do the exercises within. As the final chapter will show, quitting is the only way to fail. Whatever you do, don't give up, and you will always be a success. In my next video, I'll start with page 3 of the introduction, which starts with why I wrote this book. And I might need to have some Kleenex when I read that part because, well, it was emotional. But hey, emotions and change, they go hand in hand, don't you think? I hope that you've enjoyed this portion of the reading of the book From Sabotage to Success. If you did, please consider buying the book. I think it's easier to find it under Reach Your True Potential. Also, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on this video because I will read your comments and I will answer your comments in future videos. Again, I'm Sherry. I'm the author of From Sabotage to Success, and I'll see you next time.